Good afternoon, YouTube. This is Charles. We're back on the 300. We are going to give a Variator update. Today is March 23rd. Yesterday was pretty decent out, so we had to clean out the hay shed, getting ready to maybe hopefully cut hay come Memorial Day. We'll have to see how that goes. Weather determining. Today it was nasty and raining. We're back in the shop. I don't have a very long video for you. I'm going to give you an update on the Variator system. These are the three Variators that I have. 1, 2, and 3. You will notice that the middle part that slides on the middle hub that goes between these is missing. I have all three at a machine shop and I'm having them measured. I did not feel confident in my measuring abilities on this. Some tools I'm lacking, and I told them to give me the best of the 3 units. So that's going to take a little time. I hope to have that by next weekend, and then we can blaze the trail forward. The good news that I have, and I may have referenced this in another video, I have the brand new inner hub with the 6 bolts that the long bolts go through. I have a brand new one of those. I found the last one. It was at the parts depot. They buy up old dealer stock and inventory it and put it out on the web. And Kuhn's Equipment was able to purchase that for me. Not everyone can rush in there and buy something. You have to be a dealer. I have gotten some things from them in the past by getting under the radar. But 1, 2, 3. So we have a middle hub. They're going to put a dial indicator on that and run down our middle hubs and see how it compares to a new one. We have not come up with a solution, and we will probably just have to choose the best of the 3 for the middle sliding part of this assembly, which I think will be sufficient because, like I have said in the past, we're not going to go out and do thousands of acres, and I think it will last. So that brings us to the mounting arm. We have chosen now our parts, the best one of these that actually holds that Variator. This is the original and is not pitted up here. Not that it matters. I've chased threads on both because this will go into storage. This is the one off of the combine I disassembled. It is pitted up there. Threads have been chased. The shaft. This is the one we had to heat up to get it off. And if you can see it right there, pretty pronounced wear mark. Don't know that it would really affect us either because this end is held out here. But all of that's going to add up to some vibration. The shaft, because it was seized, is just pretty heated and scarred. So I've opted to go with this one. Now they must wear out here a little bit. This part goes on. There's a bracket you can see back here on the back side. A little bit of witness marks there, but not near as bad as what we started with. This has all been cleaned out down there. And a very rough machining surface in there. So I don't know if you can see it. I've cleaned it with a rotating wire brush and degreased it because we'll put fresh grease in there. You will see how the assembly goes together. We need to get this mounted on the combine, and then this pivots on a cylinder that's hooked down there and gives you variable speed. So not a lot to do here till we get our Variator back, but we can get the mounting base put back on and see where we get along with that. Alright, I have that mounted in. I begin to wonder if I made a big mistake. I would have to pull this back off, but we got in there. There's just enough room to get all the bolts. There's 8 bolts, 4 11/16 head, and then 4 5/16 bolts on the corner. Went in there. That is a very tight fit, which needs to be, because that is taking a lot of abuse. So we have that mounted. Now you can see what I'm talking about. It starts getting quite fill here. My assistant is holding that up. It'll be right in that area with that big heavy variator in there. Traction drive belts coming off and then making the turn down to there. So it starts getting tight. We're going to leave this off for a little bit. You can see it moves up and down. Move it up and down there. And that's how you get your variable speeds. My concern is, I don't know if my cable is broke. I have a replacement, but you want this on here. And what that does is it allows you to have a speed indicator. It doesn't tell you what the speed is, it's just a yellow slide back up in there, variator indicator, where you're in the fast, slow, medium. Gives you a reference point on the lines when you're harvesting, so you're not always guessing. You know, you can tell where it was working good. So yes, it does start getting a little tight in here now as we start putting things back in. As this is part of the variator system, we'll keep moving forward. We put a vice grip here. We could only move this about a ½ an inch. We're going to have to take this out. It's mounted here. It's mounted up in here, and we're investigating that way and up around the dash. We are going to see if we can follow it around, bring it out, and get it freed up and compare it to our sample from the other combine. So we'll get back with you when we have that unbolted. You don't need to see us unbolting these. You've seen enough bolts taken out. My assistant helped me, and just got to get it by the numbers. We have it out and over here, and here is the one from the combine I took apart. So we'll want to do some checking against it and some measuring. So let me get it over to the vise and see what we can do with it. As I suspected, let me see if I can get it. We are about ½ inch to ¼ inch shy. So we'll have to investigate that further. My suspicions were confirmed when we took this off of the other variator arm. My suspicions were confirmed because we found the piece, so we'd be that much short, which would make our reading in the cab off. And this is pretty tight through the dash, the outer casing. So I have cleaned up the one from the combine in a box, and I have cleaned it with parts cleaner and emery cloth and got it really smooth compared to this one. This one, I just can't convey how sticky it is. So it must be some kind of old grease. So we won't be using that. We've got our little indicator here. Be nice to get that back Massey yellow. This is a spring retainer. There's a spring up in the dash that helps pull that. We have 2 of these from the variator arms. So we have that hardware. Let's get that cleaned up, and then we want to get our hardware cleaned up. It's so hard to get this all back in there. We want to get our hardware cleaned up so the nuts just spin on by hand, and then it's not near the battle to get that on. I squirted a little down the tube, and I'm coating the wire. And so now we'll got it on my glove and everything. So we should be able to come out the other end. There we go. So I hope that got on there. Now we can go back for reinstall. We have our cable lubricated, hardware cleaned. The hardware we're going to be using, all that clean, that's extra over there. We did lose one clip. It went flying off somewhere in the shop with the wire wheel, but we've got extra. So now we will fish it back up through that mess right there is where she really needs fished through. And we'll see how this goes. All right, we have, Timothy's getting the last clip installed, my assistant. We got that. I redid that one. Instead of going on top, I went below. Actually gave us more slack up in the dash area. It now conforms to the roundness of the dash, so it's out of the way and hidden. Plus, it doesn't make for more or sharper turns, which would create resistance. So I think we're good, and we will give you a demonstration here in a minute up in the cab, and we're about to wrap up for the day. This will be right here, but I'm going to, and it has a little arm on the Variator arm to move it up and down, but I'm going to put this in the toolbox so it's not lost. It's been cleaned and prepped. Got to put that right here. You guys help me find that when I'm looking for it in a few weeks. Hang on. Socrates says it's time to go home for the day. There he is. All right, guys. The 300 speed indicator cable is installed and prepped. The arm is ready to go on. However, we won't put that on. We want to get all our little parts in there. We're waiting on the machine shop to get back to us. As I stated previously in the video, we can probably hang our belt and start putting our unloading auger mechanism in. So thank you for watching. The work on the 300 continues. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you very much.